Yo, what's up guys, it's Nigel here, and I'm back with a series that I wanted to try to start doing, which is talking about all fighting game information that has happened over a month. So, for this month, it will be February 2023, so I hope you guys enjoy these types of videos. I'm going to try to make them at the end of every month so I can get all the information and put it in one video so you guys don't have to just scour the internet looking for all this information. And also, I will still be doing videos about trailers that have come out. Like, say for instance, another trailer comes out for Street Fighter 5. Still be talking about it separately through this. And then I'll sum it up at the end of the month what happened for that trailer, but show it a little bit. But I'll probably be more descriptive on those videos. They're like 6 minutes, but I'll be doing both, so don't worry. If you want to just get the big picture on the end of the month videos, so you can watch either or. But yeah. Also, there's going to be timestamps for this video if you want to skip to a certain section or part that you want to see. So, without further ado, let's start the video. Now, the first thing I wanted to talk about is Tekken, because that is technically the first fighting game news we got this month, I believe. And I think the news is, the news that happened during there was, I believe, during the mid part of finals. Harada showed up, and he was gonna be like, "Hey, we got no news for Tekken. I hope you guys are in the tournament." And then he proceeded to leave the stage, and then someone booed him, and he went back on stage like, "Who just booed me? Who did that?" it was kind of funny. And then after that, it was like a sketch or whatever. And then they actually showed the real trailer for like what they had, which is about like 30 minutes, I want to say, of them breaking down the new mechanics for Tekken 8, and they broke it down in 4 features essentially, which was the rage system, how they updated and changed some stuff, and there's a recoverable gauge, and the heat system, and a controller style setup. Now, since they added the new heat system, they actually took out the rage drive, which is very interesting. It's a very interesting choice, but the heat system seems really strong anyway, so I can see why they did that, because having a rage drive in this economy is not no. Because the whole design of Tekken 8 right now is kind of just to make the game barely aggressive. Like defense, supposedly defense wasn't as fun for pro players, but I'm not gonna lie to you, everybody below pro players, it was mad aggressive before that, so they kind of just made it a little worse. But we haven't played the game, so I'm not gonna necessarily say that, but it does look scary, but it also looks cool in a way. So defense is kind of got nerfed a little bit, in my opinion. It's like there's very few options, especially since with this new heat gauge and also just moves, you can actually do chip damage now to the opponent when they'll get white health, essentially, like a pulse torture. It won't move unless you hit them, but that's how that works. And also, that's just by doing special moves. Now, if you're just in regular heat gauge, if you just jab them, they will go white health, essentially. They'll go down. Their health will go down, which is just crazy. But you can get your health back by, I believe, attacking. So I think that they want you to just try to be more aggressive even while you're on defense, just to not let them apply pressure. They want both sides to be clashing like crazy. So I'm not sure how that's going to go for neutral exactly, because it's not like they took out any other mechanics besides rage drive. You can still sidestep, you can still do that. So there's still the essence of Tekken, but it's very different. It's like a little bit of 2D, which is very interesting with the heat gauge meter, because like I said, there's the heat dasher, and I think I didn't mention this, but it's the heat engager, I believe, or burst, I think that's called. It's kind of like a rage drive, honestly. That's kind of how it is, because there still is the rage art that you can still do to people, but you have to be low health for that, so that's still the same. They kept that essence from Tekken 7 still. It's just that now we have a meter mechanic now that we can manage to use this kind of, it's pretty much max mode, I'm gonna be honest. It's just max mode. There's that now to give us more pressure and be more aggressive and get more combos. But that's just how, I guess, the new approach is for Tekken. And the last thing to talk about is the gameplay is the new style they added, which is called Special Style. It's kind of like the modern controls in Street Fighter 6 that they gave for a choice for people that don't really know how to play fighting games. But given the information that we got, it seems like they have full access to every other move the character has. Like, they're not limited like in Street Fighter 6. They can do other stuff, which is a little bit worrisome. It's like the Tekken 7 story mode, like handicap thing, which allows you to do like electrics instantly with a Heihachi and Kazi. It's kind of like that. So I'm a little worried about that, because it doesn't seem like they are not limited to moves. They can just do whatever they want with that to help them. So I do hope they change that. I'm not sure if that's fully the case. I could be wrong. You can correct me down in the comments, but that's what it seems like from what I understand as of right now. But after the discussion about the mechanics and gameplay for Tekken 8, they gave us a new trailer for the character Nina, which I thought was pretty cool. I'm glad that, obviously she's going to make it in this game. She's, always been in every Tekken game, so I'm not too surprised about that. But I thought it was really cool that they gave her pistols, because normally she's an assassin, so it's like, why not give her weapons? Because her sister uses a rocket launcher, so like, let's be fair about it. So she used those in gameplay for her heat gauge stuff. So that's a really good choice. I liked it very much. And after that, the tournament resumed. People were, getting knocked down. People were rising up. And ultimately, the person who won the grand final for Tekken 7 was Adif Butt, which was pretty crazy. Well, actually, it's not too crazy. He beat John Ding, but I'm not going to say it's because he uses Akuma, but I'm going to say it is because of Akuma, because Akuma's really... But it was still cool that Pakistan won, so it's cool for them. It's a shame that John Ding lost, because I was rooting for him. I'm like, oh, he uses Julia and Eddie? I use those characters. So I'm like, I hope he wins, but yeah, he didn't win. But that was the end of that, and I believe after that we had radio silence pretty much, except for like a few things on like community posts talking about Tekken 8, the big news, everybody's talking about it. And then I want to say about like 2 weeks later, we get the Kazuya trailer. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm a Kazuya man. And let me tell you something, that trailer changed. It didn't change Kazuya, but it gave him upgrades that he needed for so long. Like, they gave him some returning moves as well, which I'm like, dude, thank you. Because Kazuya has been stuck in the past for so long in his gameplay, and they keep removing moves and giving it to Devil Jin. It was stupid, in my opinion. It was way too stupid. They were showing absolutely no love for Kazuya. So this trailer, in my opinion, so far, even if they show like a guest character or something, this is probably gonna be my favorite Tekken 8 trailer, point blank period, because they've been really downplaying a little bit Kazuya too much, and now he finally looks really presentable in this game. So this changes everything. It's not just, oh yeah, Jin has all these cool stuff, he's a really cool character, and Kazuya, he's just an old head. No, Kazuya has some cool stuff now too. Finally, that's all I had to say. But yeah, they showed the trailer. It was really cool, and I expect to see probably multiple trailers about every month, most likely. I could see that happening from now, because in Tekken games, there's always a lot of characters for the start roster, so that's probably what's going to happen. We're going to probably get it either monthly, or I want to say like 2 weeks each time. I could see them doing something like that for other trailers down the line. But that is pretty much all the Tekken news we got so far this month, and it was amazing. It was amazing. Okay, this is Nigel from the future. I was not expecting to see a Jin trailer at the end of the month. It's a little crazy. I'm not gonna lie, I like his gameplay a lot. He's over here doing Omen stance from Tag 1, which is just crazy. In Tag 2, my bad, Tag 2. He has Devil moves as well, so he's just a mixture of Devil and the classic version from Jin, which is, well, that's just Devil Jin. But you get what I'm saying. It's crazy. This guy is doing some insane stuff. The kickflip with the lightning, like, I don't know what's going on with Jin anymore now. He probably has a different game plan now, since he can mix a whole bunch of combination now, and he has Omen stance. And it looked like he had a side step attack that gave him a wave dash thing, like his eyes glue red. I don't know what that was, but it looks ridiculous. I might try Jin out in this game, considering that I was always a Jin fan before Kazuya, and then I grew up and liked Kazuya more eventually, but I might dabble a little bit with him, but who knows. Either way, that should be all like the Tekken A information that we know now, like in trailers and stuff. So if I did miss anything, you could just post it down in the comments. And yeah, back to the video technically from the past. Now, next up is obviously Street Fighter 6, and they finally revealed the last 3 characters, which we kind of already knew who the last 3 characters were, because they showed the trailer of all the characters that were going to be in the game. So we already knew that, and especially if you looked at the leak list, which I saw accidentally, I already knew what was going on. So I'm like, oh yeah, it's Lily, Zangief, and Cammy. I think they did a really good job with Zangief so far from the trailer. Didn't watch the trailer. We don't know how he plays, obviously. It looks like they gave him some moves that were really good actually in 5. I'm glad they're transporting moves from 5 to this game, because that's what kind of Street Fighter 6 is. It's just a better version of 5, which is cool. And I think him having the counter grab kick thing, really good. I will say his it's not a CA, it's his super art, I think that's what they're called. It's okay. It's okay. I need to see what his CA looks like overall to really be impressed. But I like how he looks in the game. It's like the muscles look more realistic, and he's just like a big burly dude, like for real, like not just over exaggerated. Just looks like actually good muscle proportion. So they did a great job on that. Now, when it comes to Lily, I was kind of looking forward to her a little bit. Cause I'm like, oh, she's like, T-Hawk's daughter or student or something. That's kind of cool, or from the tribe. And I think they did a really good job with her overall. I think her special moves look good. Seems like she's pretty fun to play, judging by what she does. And she just looks like a cooler version of T-Hawk, which is kind of what we needed, because T-Hawk was kind of boring a little bit. Maybe, I'm not sure if he had a lot of love in Street Fighter 2, but before he wasn't anything crazy to talk about. But overall, I think she is really cool. Cute character, not too bad. Her super art, level 3, it's okay. I need to see what the CA looks like though, because it wasn't really selling it for me personally. But overall, I think the new generations of kids, like from Guy and T-Hawk, Abel, and Yang and Yun, are really cool. I especially like Jamie the most. I think Jamie was the coolest one out of the newest generation of students. Now, lastly, there is Cammy. Now, Cammy, everybody's seen the whole thing. Her behind, I know. Me personally, I'm not a huge Cammy fan, because I was getting waxed on, waxed off in Street Fighter 4 and 5. So I think they did a good job with it. I think she looks cool. Her new design's neat and stuff. I like her moves. I also like the move where she grabs you from behind it. I think she snaps your necks and buckles your knees. I think it's from like the Street Fighter movie or something, which is a really cool reference. Her CA looks nice. Her design says pretty cool. I'm not gonna go any more specific than that. I think she is a great addition. Obviously, she's one of the pioneers since Alpha, I believe. So good to have her. Good to have her back as usual. But man, all I gotta say is that fan service for her is going pretty crazy. What they did, that's all I have to say. Pretty crazy. Also, I forgot to mention before the character reveal trailers, the CPT happened actually last week for CPT 2023, and in that tournament, they actually revealed some big news. But before we get to that, we gotta reveal who won first. And the person who won was Minor RD, and he beat Zin. And it was a pretty good match overall. I believe Minor RD was using Luke, I believe, and Zin is a Bison main, so that's what he was primarily using. But at the end of the day, Minor RD took it home. It was a good fight, but Minor RD kept hitting him with the random CAs, and he was not ready for that. Zin was just not ready for that most of the time. It was crazy. But that makes Minor RD the 2-time champ, Capcom Pro Tour winner, because he won in, I believe, 2017, and now he's won in 2023. So congratulations to him and the Dominican Republic taking it home yet again. Good on them. But after that, they had some announcements for the next CPT, and then the CEO of Capcom, Sugimoto-san, showed up, which was like, what the heck? This guy never shows up for anything. But there's a reason for that. They announced the CPT, you watch the trailer to send this, and then they get to the prize pool, and this is obviously for Street Fighter 6. And it is $1 million for first place. I was genuinely shocked. Like, $1 million? That's never happened before in a fighting game. Fighting games are starting to get really big now. So I think technically, out of even all the news that I've mentioned, or I'm about to mention later, this is probably the biggest news, because this will change other fighting game tournaments as well, besides even Street Fighter. So that means other games, they're probably gonna get even more pay from other companies too. But will that happen? Who is to say? But all I know is $1 million. A lot of people are going to be buying Street Fighter 6 and playing it a lot. So the game is going to do amazingly well. And I bet you right now, they're over there playing that crack. That Street Fighter 6 beta thing that got hacked, they're probably playing that right now, because there ain't no way people are not training for the beta right now as we speak. Because that just motivated everybody to play Street Fighter 6. Sonic Fox, freaking, like, he's an MKX player mainly. Other freaking fighting game players, they're all going to get on this game. There's no way. Without a shot. There's no shot they're not getting on this game to make that money. So, that is, without a doubt, probably the biggest, craziest thing that's happened in a fighting game tournament easily. Because, like I said, they have never said $1 million. Normally, you do a tournament, you get maybe like 10K, maybe, even for like an Evo or something, and then you go home and that's all you get. 1 million? That just changed the game. That just changed the entire game. So, we'll just have to wait and see what else they do in the future for prizes for other fighting games too. But that is all the news for Street Fighter 6. $1 million prize pool for Capcom Pro Tour for next year. And the last 3 characters, Lily, Zangief, and Cammy for Street Fighter 6, making a total up to, I believe, 18 characters for Street Fighter 6, which is a pretty good, decent roster, which is definitely bigger than 5. I think 5 had, 16 characters, so a 2 edition with especially some unique characters, which is really just great to hear compared to what we got in 5, which was not a lot, and then it grew to a magnificent roster. Hopefully they can do the same for Street Fighter 6 and give it a ginormous roster like how they did for the end of Street Fighter 5. Alrighty, next up is Mortal Kombat 12. Now this news is pretty big given that they just announced that the game will be coming out in 2023, which is this year. So yeah, it's pretty amazing to hear, but we already kind of knew this information because it was kind of hinted at that there was going to be another game, which it was most likely already going to be Mortal Kombat 12 because of the anniversary. So why would they just, go to Injustice immediately after? Like, that'd be a little weird. So we kind of already knew something was coming out this year because they hinted at it a little bit when they said there was going to be no trailer for the Game Awards. So it's kind of like, okay, they're going to do it next year. So 2023, they technically unofficially announced it first because of that I believe it was like a recording of a dude talking to one of the CEOs of Warner Brothers, because they own NetherRealm, and they were like, oh yeah, Suicide Squad, that game, and then MK12 coming out this year. So I was like, I kind of feel bad for anybody that didn't want to, that was working on the game, like, oh yeah, unofficially announced by this. That's unfortunate. I feel bad for everyone and stuff like that. But we kind of already knew it was already in the works, so it's kind of whatever. But it's like, dang. But then they officially announced it on Twitter, like, hey, MK12's happening. Everybody's like, yeah. So that's the news for MK12 essentially. We know it's coming out this year. Probably it'll come out in around December or October, November, something like that, somewhere around that time, because normally how they do their games now is that they show a trailer and the game will come out maybe like 4 or 5 months later after that. So I could expect to see a trailer around E3 or something. So that gives them a little bit of time to polish a little bit of the game because it's pretty much already almost done. And then, have a little few beta sprinkle around so people can play it around somewhere during that time and then get their opinion about the game. So that's my thoughts on that. I'm really excited for MK12. I just hope they add characters that I really like to play and make the gameplay not like MK11 or Injustice 2 or anything like that, because those games, me personally, I didn't like the gameplay. It was more zoning in Injustice 2. I couldn't really do anything, and then MK11 was really slow. And I feel as if 9 has and 10 have a good balance of the gameplay speed I want, but I hope they make it more accessible because I think 10 was really, really hard to play if I remember as a kid. It was very, very hard to play and get into, but I hope they just can get a certain balance with that. But I'm hoping for Smoke, Rain, Nightwolf, maybe Fujin can come back, but those are the characters I want to return back. And obviously Liu Kang and Kung Lao are going to be in the game, so I'm going to be fine. Even if those characters aren't there, I'll be fine somewhere around there. But yeah, that is all the news for MK12 so far. Now next up will be just kind of like a jumble of games. So I'm not sure when I'm going to release this video, if I'm going to release it on the 26th, 27th, 28th, but you'll find out how this works when I do release it. Now, I'm pretty positive they're going to show Kim for King of Fighters 15 and the 28th for a trailer or something like that, and it'll come around in March. That's what my speculation is, but I could be wrong about that. There is also, well, this is, I guess, ongoing news, but Multiverses is kind of declining, which is a little unfortunate. Now, me personally, my experience with the game is I played it for a little bit. I thought the gameplay was okay. I didn't really like it too much, but it was free, so I'm like, yeah, it's cool. It has Warner Brothers characters in it. It's neat. But I just never could find somebody. So, even when Stripe came out, I was excited for him, but I played him like, man, he's kind of not that fun to me personally. So that's the last time I played when Stripe came out. I'm not sure if there's any other characters that came out after that, but I felt as if it was a decent game enough. Maybe it's not doing too well because of maybe people didn't like the game too much, I'm assuming, because I didn't really mess with it too much. I wasn't even really stoked on this release. I thought it was a cool idea, but it didn't play or look fun to me necessarily to other Smash clones like Rivals of Ether or Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, I believe is the name of it. That game was pretty fun, and Brawlhalla to a certain degree, and I even really liked that game. I just felt as if it was missing something compared. Also, Max did talk about multiverses, how it could be because, you know, they didn't really support overseas for connections for like Asia and other countries, and also like apparently the battle pass was not too really good. There's also that because they kept giving skins to bugs and not other characters. It was just really weird choices from the developers there, I guess, but who knows, maybe they could bounce back in maybe a couple months or something, or a year, who knows, anything could happen at any given time. And also, I would also like to mention that this has nothing to do with necessarily the but I just wanted to mention this, that I think Virtual Fighter 6 should be coming in real soon, because I believe in one of Harada's Bars videos, he talked about another fighting game coming out, and it kind of sounded like Virtual Fighter, or it could have been MK, who knows, but that could be releasing either next year or this year as well, so that's also something to think about as well. And the last fighting game news of this month is EVO and the lineup of what we're having, which will be Street Fighter 6, Guilty Gear Strive, Dragon Ball FighterZ, and Tekken 7, King of Fighters 15, Melty Blood, MK11, surprisingly. And the wild card that we never expected was Marvel vs. Capcom 3 Ultimate, which is just insane to think about. So those are going to be the EVO lineup for this year, and the games are looking pretty good. I'm glad to see that, you know, Marvel vs. Capcom is there, so who knows what news we could probably get from that side or something like that. So yeah, and Tekken's there, Tekken 7, so obviously that means Tekken 8 is probably gonna be like later, like I said, probably next year. But yeah, overall, I think this list is pretty good. Now, there is some unfortunate news to hear. It's a little bit of controversial stuff, but apparently there's not gonna be a top 8 exactly. It's gonna be top 6. So, for instance, this is how this is gonna work, supposedly. So the first 2 people that lose in top 8, their matches will not be shown or broadcast at all. So that means losers' quarters will not be broadcasted or shown to a live streaming service at all, which it's sucky, because I understand what they're doing, because EVO matches they be lasting a long time, to be fair, depending on the game, especially. Like freaking Dragon Ball FighterZ lasted very, very long, way too long actually, in my opinion, and Smash does too. But I don't really watch Smash, so I don't even know why I said that. But either way, I think it's a little lame why this is happening. I understand why it's happening, to make things smoother, faster for everybody, but it just kind of sucks for the people that, you know, make it to top 8, which is a big deal, but they're not. I'm wondering if they're going to be shown on stage. That's what I'm really worried about, because they deserve to be shown on stage, the people that made it to top 8. They're just going to show 6 people, I guess, now, which is like, yeah, that's cool, but what about the other 2 people that made it out of hundreds of people to top 8? I guess they don't really get the love. I don't know. But yeah, I think that is all the news for February for fighting games. If I did miss anything, please comment down below if you know something that I missed or something, because there's obviously a lot more information this year for fighting games, considering the big 3 are about to come out, which is Mortal Kombat, Tekken, and Street Fighter. So I might have missed some other stuff. If I did, comment down below. But either way, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. I know it's a bit on the longer side, but I hope you guys don't mind that. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great day, night, noon, whatever time period you guys live at, man. And I will see you guys next time.